Good morning, you guys, and welcome to the Master the Craft YouTube channel. Um, if you are not subscribed to this video, please do so. And if you also can, please leave a like under this video if God lays it on your heart. Um, just a quick announcement before I start this video. Just want to give a few shout outs to Through His Lens Productions. I have a documentary coming out May the 7th. I'm very, very excited. It's my first documentary. It's going to be on YouTube Premium, and it's going to be on DVD. We'll have DVD copies for everybody to pick up. My Mask Off series that is on this channel. Please look in my videos and you'll see part 1, 2, and 3 of Mask Off. That was leading up to my documentary. Now, what's on the documentary is not being touched on, had not been touched on. The stuff in Mask Off was bonus stuff. It wasn't nothing that's going to be on the DVD. So you guys look out for that. It's coming soon, and I'm very, very excited. Topic today is how Mime saved my life. This is going to be a long video, but I definitely wanted to come on here and talk to you guys and just give you guys insight on about my passion for Mime and why I love Mime so much, and why it's been a part of my life for the last 19 years plus. A lot of you guys know I started miming when I was 9 years old. A lot of you guys know that when I started, it started out as something just to do in church. It started out as something fun to do. At that time, it wasn't very, very popular, but we did have a guy at the church who had started doing it. He was inspired by K Mime, of course, because during that time, they were like really kind of the only ones doing it. It was some people here and there, but they were like really the main ones doing it, like doing it on a global scale. So I remember seeing the guy's name's Timothy. I remember seeing him mime at the church. He would dance once a month, and at that time, I had already been dancing. I was already taking classes at Philadelphia, which is a dance company in Philadelphia. So I was already dancing. So it got my attention for the dance side, not for like the paint in my face and the extra stuff, but for the dance side, because the way he executed, the way he delivered the songs that he was ministering was, I just saw like dance. That's all I saw. So it definitely got my attention. So seeing him dance a couple times, and I remember one Sunday at the church, my mom walked me up to him and asked him if he can teach me, because she didn't want me to sit in the church and do nothing. She wanted me to be active in church, because I was the only child that she drugged to church every Sunday. My other siblings were able to pretty much do their own thing. They was like they didn't want to go to church, and my sister had her activities on Sunday. My brother had his. My mom dragged me to church faithfully, and my older sister lived with my grandmother at the time, so of course that wasn't going down. But she dragged me to church every Sunday, every Wednesday, every time the church was open. I was at the church with my mother. So she brought me up to him and was like, can you teach my son how to mime? He was like, yeah, I'll teach him. So I remember a week after that, literally a week after that, he passed away. So in my mind, I was like, well, how am I going to do it? He's supposed to teach me and stuff like that. So what my mom started doing is she brought me K Mime videos, and she had me watch those. I used to watch those every day faithfully. Maybe like 3 times a week I would watch them a lot. Like I had 3 different K Mime DVDs, and YouTube wasn't very, very popular back then, but I would see different clips and videos here and there on various platforms. So I would keep tabs on what they were doing just to find some type of inspiration. So she brought me the DVDs, and I just basically started learning how to do it, and learning and watching and watching and learning and watching and learning just from their ministry, and how they executed their movements and how they delivered it and how their facial expressions was and how they approached ministry. Hearing them talk in various interviews and getting tips here and there and stuff like that, and really listening and soaking up everything like a sponge. Um, this master the craft thing, man. It's not about skill. It's not about how good your technique is. It's not about how good your movements are or how good your facial expressions are. It's also about the knowledge aspect. I am a student first. I was a student first because before I did any miming, I studied. And I'm still studying to this day because I'm not perfect and there's still things that I could learn. But the things that I could learn is more so on the knowledge aspect and just having all the knowledge, knowing the ins and outs and the do's and the don'ts. Um, so just watching them and watching them and watching them, and I remember getting discouraged one day talking to my mom, and she was just like, "I know you don't have anybody to teach you right now, but you can do it. Just learn from watching and just keep watching and keep learning." So she pushed me to the point where I started literally movement started coming, and I started choreographing my own material at 9 years old, going on 10 because I started in January 2000. My birthday's in March, so I was on my way to turn 10 years old, turned 10, and I literally started choreographing my own songs, um, drawing some inspiration from K&K Mime, but not actually mimicking their movements. I had my own style at a very, very young age, and my style was unique, and I noticed it because people used to come to me, like the older saints, and my mom used to come. They was like, "Well, how did he learn how to do this or do that?" And I would say K&K Mime, and it was like, "You dance nothing like them," or whatever. And I just started noticing that at a very, very young age that it may be something that I could do long term. But at 10, I was just trying to play sports and stuff like that, which I was doing. But I didn't take it that serious. So it wasn't until I turned 16 that I really realized that this is what God wanted for me. This is the calling that He had on my life. He wanted me to be a minister of mine. And at 16 was when things really kicked off, because that's when I really, really started moving around the city. And I started traveling out of state and stuff like that at 16, ministering, in New York and Jersey and Delaware, and was in Massachusetts a couple times at 16, and went to Atlanta, went to Cleveland, went to a couple places. Hadn't been out the country yet, but was just starting to move around, and I realized this is what God has called me for. 16 was a very, 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 very awesome age for me, because it's not only at that age where I realized this is something that I was called to do and something I wanted to do long term, but it was also when I got baptized for the second time, and it was also when I got the Holy Ghost. I got the Holy Ghost at 16, got saved when I was 16, gave my life over to Christ when I was 16. So much happened when I was 16, man. It's just crazy to think about it. That's my age where everything just started happening for me, like at 16. So to make a long story short, the road and everything that went on during the time I was miming wasn't always peaches and cream. It was met with a lot of obstacles. It was met with a lot of ups and downs. It was met with a lot of barriers, um, a lot of stumbling blocks, a lot of setbacks, a lot of disappointments, lots of frustration, lots of doubt and fear. Um, I fell into depression very, very heavy at a very, very young age. I was a very, very sheltered and secluded and distant child. Didn't talk much either. I remember when I was younger, my mom used to think something was wrong with me because I hardly talked. I hardly said anything. I was always quiet. I was always to myself. I always was a loner. Um, I kind of fell out of it when I got in high school, but most of my childhood I was a loner. So And most of it is because when I was younger, I was teased a lot about my facial features, my ears, and my teeth at the time. I was still growing into because I was a child, and everybody handles words differently. Everybody handles verbal abuse differently. Some people can brush it off. Some people can turn the other cheek and walk away. But at a very, very young age, it was hard for me because I will always wonder why me, who doesn't bother anybody, who tries to love everybody and be a great friend and just be a child, just live life and enjoy childhood, my childhood. Um, why someone like me was always verbally abused and talked about, not even just by people in school, but also by people who were in my very own family. Um, and it took me into a very, very deep depression. The first time I remember I tried to kill myself was when I was 9 years old, a little bit before I started miming. Second time was when I had started miming, and the suicidal thoughts and the trying to kill myself lasted all the way up till I was 18. After 18, it extended to when I was 25. After 25, it extended to when I was 26. Um, 26 was the last time I literally tried to kill myself, and that was 2 years ago. Um, During my period of miming, there's been plenty of times where I always thought to myself, is this really worth it? Like, is it worth it? Um, is being a child of God worth it? Because it seems like all the bad stuff has happened to me because I'm in church. This is just what I thought. Maybe if I leave church, um, things won't be as bad because I don't have to worry about church people saying anything, and I don't have to worry about nobody saying nothing. I can just live my life and just do me, and block out the noise. But this is immaturity talking at the time. So yeah, I remember I literally tried to OD on aspirin and painkiller medicine, and it was always a ram in the bush. It was always my mom was always around, and I couldn't really do it because she was like she just would pop up at weird times, and then or I always had a friend to talk me out of it and stuff like that, and like the pills thing I tried, the knife thing I tried, the drinking bleach thing I tried, the drinking dishwashing liquid I tried. I tried so many things. I tried so many things. Um, Man, like picture trying to like think about picture yourself really get into the frame of mind where you want to really kill yourself and take your own life. It's not a very good place to be in. I've done it. I've been there. I've done that. I've been molested before too. Um, when I was younger, and um, I've been abused and talked about and misused and just treated like crap and just feeling unappreciated and not loved and stuff like that. Having to go through all these relationships where you're cheated on constantly and you're told that you're too sensitive, and having people constantly tell you that they think that you're a homosexual, even though you never been with a guy before, you never wanted to be with a guy before. Having people constantly throw darts at you and constantly throw shots at you when you literally just want to live your life, you want to do your ministry, and you want to come home and you want to be left alone. Picture yourself, picture all that going on, and then now um, think about like yeah, this is how he got to that point. Like this is how these things start. They start at a very, very young age, and we don't even understand it. Because when I was younger, I was the frail, skinny guy. Gotten a little bigger to this day, but I was the frail, skinny guy, and I was the target for a lot of jokes. I was the target for a lot. I never really was bullied physically, or nobody ever put hands on me. But verbally, I was definitely abused, really. Like picture being in a family And picture being in the family and knowing what family is about, knowing how family is supposed to be, and how God says family is supposed to be, and how you envision family being, and picture being in your own family, and your own grandmother telling you that you're not going to amount to anything, or that you're going to end up in jail, or that you're going to end up with somebody duping you up the butt in jail. Picture all this negativity being spewed your way at a very, very young age, all leading all the way up to your teenage years, and then having to be on this platform where you're just trying to glorify God, and then you have people who don't even know you from the outside saying things as well. My whole life, there never was a time where nobody didn't say anything. I could be doing right, I could be doing things the right way, and people still would have something to say. And because of the cloth that I'm cut from, I will always wonder, if I'm minding my business, why can't people mind theirs? If I'm not focused on somebody's personal life, why people focus on my personal life? If I'm not clocking who's sleeping with who, why people clocking who I'm in a relationship with? Like, these are thoughts that constantly run in my mind. Um, the one thing that I've yearned my whole entire life is peace. I enjoy peace. Nothing makes me happier than peace. That's why when I was younger, I was very, very secluded and very, very distant and very, very to myself, because I just like that peace and that solitude and just being alone and that meditation time with God. And I still do it to this day. I'll sit in an empty room and I'll cut everything off and I'll just sit and I'll meditate and I'll think on the goodness of Jesus, or I'll sit here and I'll think about my plans and my goals and my visions and stuff like that, and the things God has given me in dreams and stuff like that, and write them out. I love my seclusion. I love my peace. So at my age that I am now, that's all I really want out of life, is I just want peace, and I want to be connected to people who want peace, and I want to be in a relationship with somebody who wants to be peaceful and wants things to just a different type of vibe. As I get older, my tolerance level gets a little lower. Um, but man, I just struggle to think about where I would be if it wasn't for this ministry. Um, it saved my life. Like, every time I was depressed or having suicidal thoughts, I would turn on a song and I would just dance, man. I would think about killing myself, and I'll be leaving this great gift that God's given me, just leaving it behind and letting it go to waste, and disappointing God and disappointing those who I was close to at the time. Um, Mime is not something that I do now for a hobby, or I do for a check. It's something that really, really keeps me. It really, really blesses me. It really, really um, is that one time where I honestly, besides the love of God, that I feel loved and I feel appreciated. Mime has never cheated me. I've never cheated Mime. Um, Mime loves me and I love Mime back. And people always wonder why I talk about miming this way. But if you knew my story, and if you knew the time this came, what I was dealing with when miming came, I was dealing with a lot. I was going through hell. I was already having the suicidal thoughts and depression and stuff, and I had already been molested. I had already been verbally abused plenty of times, and I already had people count me out. Um, had very, very very, very good grades at the time, so it was nothing for nobody to say, nothing for nobody to go on and say, well, you're not going to amount to anything. It just was the negativity that I was around. So this ministry came at a very, very good time, very, very pivotal point in my life, because it was during that time where I first was being ministered to with the spirit of depression and the spirit of suicidal thoughts. Only thing that was not being ministered to me was the homosexuality thing, because I had a praying mother and she prayed against that stuff every day. Um, that's why I would not disappoint her, and I won't disappoint God by even entertaining anything related to that. This ministry, man, is more to me than it means more to me than what it means to other people. This is my lifeline. Mine is my lifeline. It's been my lifeline since I was 9 years old. It's been that one thing that's been keeping me going. It's the one thing in my life that I have. If I didn't have it, I don't know where I would be. I would not be here, because God seen that. He's seen that I needed something. I needed something just to have outside of him. I needed something that was going to love me and embrace me, and I reciprocated. Like he knew I needed something. He knew I needed a gift. Like I love sports, but even that wasn't fully it. God was like, no, you need a spiritual gift. So I'm going to give you the gift of mine, and let you I'm going to let you loose. You want to travel over the country. You want to travel outside the country. You're going to do so much, and you're going to impact so many lives. So I'm going to give you this thing because I know you're going to take it and you're going to run with it, because I know I made you, and I know the cloth that you're cut from. And I know that with your persistence and your consistency, you're going to take it far. And you're also going to make me famous in the process, and you're going to spread my gospel. And then I'm going to give you the gift to be able to preach and to be able to talk to people as well. And people are going to be ministered to, not just by your ministry, but by your testimony and the things you've been through. Because that's one thing I love about my students. They all say that they can relate to me because of what I've been through. And I'm able to talk to them and attack different things, not just attacking the spiritual things, but I'm able to talk to them on a personal level. So this ministry, I thank God for every day, because if it had not been for mine, I would not be here. You guys, it's always just important to know why we do what we do. I don't mind for self. I mind for God, but I love this so much that I don't even. It's just certain things I don't get into. This is genuine love right here, and I don't think anybody in this world loves Mime as much as me. I just don't think so. I don't think so, and I think that highly because I know what it did for me, and I know how it's blessed me in my life. So I can sit here and honestly say that I don't think nobody loves Mime on the same level as me. It's my best friend. It's my comfort. It's my safe place. It's everything to me. And I also know how to separate God from my ministry, because you don't want to put something before God. Because at the end of the day, he gave you the gift and he gave this to you, and he can easily take it away. So God is the reason for everything. He's the reason for all of this. So I thank him and I love him for it. And I appreciate him. God has always came through in every situation. He's always came through. He's always given me something to have that will bless me and that will encourage me. God has never left my side. He's never failed me. So I dare not give up on him, and I dare not curse him just because he doesn't come through one time. His track record says that he's always there. He's always right on time. He'll be there right on time. He's an on-time God. Yes, he is. That's what the song says. So I thank him. I really thank God. This is why I will never give up on him. I will never walk away from him. I will never forsake him. I will never renounce him. I will continue to be the child of God that he's made me to be. So I thank you guys for looking at this video. I just had to get this out. My documentary is coming in May, and you guys have more content on this channel. The documentary is actually 48 minutes, so I'm going to upload that to here, and it's going to be on YouTube Premium. It's going to be on DVD, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm starting now, instead of just posting dance videos, just tell you guys, just come on here and talk to you guys, so you guys know me a little better, because folk have an idea of who you are, but they don't know who you are. They go off of social media. There's only a few select people that know who I am and everything I just expressed a second ago. Very few people know that, because if you never take the time to really talk to somebody and get to know them, how are you going to fully know them? You know, I'm never content with going off of anything on the internet, because the internet will fool you and it will have you thinking something's X when it's Y. You know, like, so it's very, very important to know that. But I appreciate you guys for joining me on this video. I love you guys. Please continue to keep me in prayer. And if you are miming, please mime with all your heart, and always remember to keep God first. If you keep God first, He'll put you in front of the right people. All right, you guys, peace.